Is this thing on? Woo! Welcome everyone. I'm Q. You already know. Right. Anyways, welcome back. Sorry it's been too long. It's been, I think, over 2 weeks. We were supposed to go live, I think it was 2 weeks ago, but I got sick, so that's why I haven't been on. I haven't been active on my Facebook because I had some health issues and stuff. So I'm here, I'm back, I'm better. Not 100%, but I'm here. What are you? What did you do this weekend? What did you do for the last 2 weeks since we weren't on?
Yeah, I mean, I've just been working.
Just working, right?
Yeah, I got this last weekend off, so I went out, had a couple fun nights with my friends, and then here for today, you know, just have a...
Excited.
Exactly. You know what I mean? We adjust this.
So how do you feel right now?
Nervous?
Yeah, I know. I'm a little bit nervous, but you'll eventually get the hang of it and get used to talking in front of the camera. But
yeah, I haven't really been in front of lights like this before, unless I was like at a play, which was when I was very young. So, and that's when like it was so bright and like you couldn't really see the audience. So that's the last time I had like bright lights in front of me like this. You know what I mean?
oh, but I guess not being able to see the audience is a good thing because it takes away, you know, that people that are there. Yeah, and like you're not that nervous. So it's like what you call it's the fourth wall.
The fourth wall?
That's what they call it. It's easy to ignore the people that are there, so it's easy for you to I guess to relax. But anyways, I want to invite all of you to come and watch my videos. I guess they're fun, they're funny, so check them out.
And we're gonna be posting more videos to his page coming soon. So.
But anyways, what did you think about the weather? Like,
Oh my god, like the last 2 weeks we had like minus 30 degrees, and then all of a sudden like on Wednesday it went from like minus 30 to plus 6. So I think the weather change is good. It's way hotter now. Everything's starting to melt. It's not as cold anymore because it was freezing for those 2 weeks. Like you did not want to go outside in Calgary when it was minus 30 because it feels like minus 35, minus 40 degrees Celsius. So it's very cold.
I feel that if you want to describe my mood swings, Calgary would be the perfect example for that.
And the weather.
Because it could be cold right now, and in 5 minutes it's hot. You know what I mean? And like I've been in this country for so long, I'm not used to the cold. But I also don't like it when it's too hot. So there's no happy medium here.
Yeah.
But I enjoy the summer more only because like I like to go out more. When it comes to winter, I feel like a bear. I don't like to go out. So, but yeah, enough about the weather now. I was gonna tell you, I'm excited about Cirque du Soleil. It's coming into town in August. So,
Do you know what show it is?
it's called Echo. I haven't really looked into it, but it'll be here in August till June 19th, I think it is, August 30th to the June 19th. So I'm gonna check it out. Hopefully we're able to go backstage. We're gonna see how we're gonna do that. We're gonna try. We're not promising anything though, because I've done it before. I don't know if you guys watched the video that we did on Lucia. Like I think they came here like 4 years ago. Check it out also on Erica's fan page.
Yeah.
What are your plans for this year, Riley?
I'm trying to save money so we're gonna be going on a vacation to Mexico and Guatemala for Christmas. So I'm just trying to save money so that I can afford to go. It's gonna be a really expensive trip. What were you doing today before we got together?
Today, what did I say? Some cleaning. I was supposed to do some running around, but you know, I put things aside so we could be here and do this because I didn't want to push it one more week. Consistency is key.
Yeah.
So we're here.
It sucked because you were sick last week, so we couldn't really get anything figured out. So, but
yeah, it was really scary.
yeah,
It was just some scary moments, but you know, it's life. It happens. All you can do is just move on and stuff like that. But what are you doing for your birthday? His birthday's next month.
yeah, it's coming up in a actually like a week and a half, right? Well, I don't know yet. I was hoping that we could. Last year we went to Kinjo, right? So
Yeah.
we did with your kid because his birthday is the same day as mine. So
Fun fact, yeah.
yeah.
They share the same birthday, which is weird.
I know, right? We're not the same age, but we're the same birthday, which is crazy to think about. I don't know. Maybe we can do something similar like that again.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see who's saying hi. Hi to whoever's on.
Yeah, hello guys. Whoever's on this live stream.
Anyways, we're also going to talk about things that you're going to be expecting. Like right now, we're just like talking about random stuff. But we're going to eventually pick topics, have maybe some people come here and talk with us and maybe extend a little bit this show.
Yeah, we hope to bring people on that like maybe aren't very well known or from Calgary as well that we can interview or talk to and get to know them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're gonna talk. I'm gonna give you guys examples. Like we're gonna talk about like what's happening around Calgary, fun facts. What are the other ones? Like, did you know things?
Superstitions, right?
Superstitions, experiences as an immigrant. Well, would you count as an immigrant?
My family's immigrants, but I was born here, so no.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna ask you a question. Yeah, I know your family's I'm also an immigrant, so they're immigrants. But do you get treated as one?
Actually, sometimes when I go out, I feel like people think I'm an immigrant. Well, no, people think I'm like from like Asian. Some people think I'm Asian. Some people think I'm Native, or some people think I'm Latin American. I'm not even kidding. Like I was literally at the bar last night with someone, and this person I was talking to was like, "Hey," he was from Mexico. He's like, "Hey, bro," he's talking to me in Spanish, and then his buddy's like, "No, he's not Spanish, bro." And he's like, "Oh, you look Mexican, man. You look Mexican to me." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know what to say, bro."
When I met you, I thought you were Japanese.
I know. And then I remember the first thing I said to you was something in Spanish, and you looked at me like,
When
"What?"
you spoke in Spanish, I actually thought he was Mexican, because like a lot sometimes you sounded Mexican. That's why.
Well, I asked you where you were from in Spanish, and then you looked at me and you were like, "Wait,
What? Excuse me?
Well, I could tell, like, it's actually kind of funny because this is when we met, we were working together at a restaurant, and it's like when I got interviewed, I don't know, I remember I seen you, and you were sitting there, or you were working and stuff, and I feel like that day we kind of like had a connection, you know, it's like, I feel like I already knew who you were, you know what I mean?
Exactly. That's like I had the same I guess feeling. I'm like, I know this guy from somewhere.
But like, we had never met each other before.
No.
And then, like, I started working there, like, a week or two later, and, like,
We became friends.
We became really good friends.
Now we're here.
Now we're here, yeah. That was, like, over a year ago, right?
Yeah. But yeah, what are the other examples, like, as for being treated as an immigrant?
When I, just, like, people, like, not really, like, I don't know, just expecting me to be something that I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really get, like, discriminated against, if that's what you mean, if that's what
Oh, no, you haven't.
like, not really too much. Like, I mean, when I was at school, I feel like I got discriminated against by a lot of people, but what can you do, right? People are growing up the way they are. Yeah.
I know. I honestly, I think I was only treated differently by my own race, I guess. I was bullied by some of my own race, unfortunately. You would think it would be from other races, but no, it was from my own.
Really?
Yes.
Like in Guatemala? Or?
No, here in Canada.
Oh.
Yeah, I met not so very nice people here, but whatever.
So what was it like? So like, hold on, can you want to like? So you came here when you were very young, right? Like, because you
I
were.
want to talk about my age. But yes, I was 13, and I've been here for a while. I don't want to specify how long I've been here, but I've been here for a while. I hate getting old, so.
Well, I want you to talk about like your experience in Guatemala when you were younger, you know, and like what was like there compared to here, you know, and how you can like how like when you came here things were very different for you, you know what I mean, and like.
Well, when I knew I was gonna come here to Canada, I was really excited about it because my dad was the one who first came here to Canada, And it took him about maybe 3 years for us to come here. It took a while. It felt like 5 years, you know.
Yeah.
I remember I was excited. I came here and I hated it. After 6 months, I wanted to go back home because the life back there, I guess it's more alive. You know what I mean? It's more family
Oriented.
more family oriented, and it's here in Canada. It's quieter. It's not. You don't see like all these kids playing on the streets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It feels more alive.
So like, what you'd say is like, in like back home, it's like more. Everyone's more. Everybody knows each other. You know what I mean? Like everyone down the road probably knows each other. We know each other, right? You guys are all friends, or you know what I mean? Like everyone.
No, it's more like actual kids that live around the area that would come out and play. You know
I
what
mean, yeah. So like,
I
all the
didn't
kids know each
necessarily
other.
knew them.
Yeah, but you got to know them when you were there, right? Because you play with them, or you dance with them, or do whatever, right?
I mean like in general. It was just a general thing. It just feels more alive, more people, more noise, more things going on, more things happening around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's I don't know how to explain it exactly, but I feel like it's alive more. Here it's boring, but I actually got used to it. I like it. I enjoy it. Yeah. That's what's different, I think. Also, over here it's more noticeable. Like poverty is more noticeable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With like Stephen Avenue, I don't want to get into details. You know what I
Pretty
mean?
bad some days.
Yeah, and like back home, you don't exactly see that because you know if you're poor,
Your family will help you.
not just that, it's just that chances are everybody else is the same in the same shoes as you are.
Yeah.
So you don't really have people sticking out more, if you know what I mean.
Okay. So they kind of everyone's kind of in the same boat.
Basically, yeah. And you know, people say that we're a third world country or whatever, but as far as I remember, maybe we were poor, but I was happy too. You know what I mean? Because like my family's there.
See, that's actually
Not that I'm not happy here.
that's one thing I've heard from a lot of people that are like that have come to Canada actually. That that are immigrants, like that they miss like what it was like back in their home. You know what I mean? And that like they don't mind Canada and it's not bad here, but it's like back where they're from, it's way more homey. You know what I mean? It's more like they feel like they can express themselves better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fortunately, I'm gonna say is that back home you can plant anything at any time of the year and it grows. You know what I mean? So
What do you mean like plant
like
bananas and
bananas, beans, whatever you want to plant, it grows. That's why Guatemala, they call it the land of the eternal spring, is because you can plant anything at any time of the year and it grows. So really, starvation, I never really heard about it
probably
because
because you guys just have so much food there.
see, I call it poor people food, and I take pride on it, and I don't care if it's poor people food because that's what I heard from other people.
I don't think
Like
it's poor people food.
having eaten beans, rice, and corn, it's basically our basic.
Well, it's like for me, it's like eating like the same thing in Filipinos are just eating like small pieces of pork, or like you would get like the cheapest kind of pork, you chop it up and put it in like with rice and stuff like that, and eggs, and you know what I mean? Or like even just bacon, eggs, and rice. You know what I mean? That's like a lot of Filipinos eat that. You know what I mean? So or like spam or corned beef, like that kind of stuff. I don't really care if it's poor people food because it tastes good. You know what I mean?
I love it. I don't care. I take pride on it. If it's poor people food, who cares? I like it. I enjoy it. Beans
If it's
is life.
what you grew up eating, it's like
Corn
you can't-
is life. I love it. Yeah. So growing up, I
That's what
remember
it's like.
that also eating meat, it's a luxury.
Well, because you've been eating like well done steak your whole life until.
Yes, that's because we're taught to eat our meat cooked well done, I guess.
Fully cooked.
Yeah, no. I call that chancla style. Because you cook a full steak and you cook it well done, it becomes a chancla. You can wear it as a sandal and walk on it, you know what I mean? But yes, eating meat is a luxury. Having a soda or a pop is luxury. At the time, from what I remember as a child.
Oh, like really? Is
Yeah.
it that expensive to get like a soda?
I don't know, maybe I guess that's how parents limit their money. I don't know. I was a kid. I don't know
How it worked?
how it works, and even now I don't know how it works. Like if I move back to Guatemala, I don't know if I do that
Why?
because I basically I've lived here more than I lived there. I left there when I was 13,
Okay.
and it's been a while. So I'm more
Well,
Canadian, I should say.
You've already told them that you've been here longer than you lived there.
That's what I'm saying. I haven't said enough.
so-
Yes. Yeah. That's my experience with immigrants.
One of these days we'll reveal it.
Sorry.
So one of these days we'll reveal your age. Your age. One of these days we'll reveal it. You know.
People will eventually know. I just hate talking about it. I just feel old every time I talk about it. And yes, I know I should take it as wisdom and all that nice talk that people say, but no, I don't like it. That's why I do like celebrate my birthday.
That's what I was saying. It's like, I totally forgot my birthday was coming up, and then he reminded me the other day. He's driving me home. He's like, "So what are you doing for your birthday?" And I was like, "I don't know."
Well, that's what friends do, right? I like to remind other people of their age, but I don't want to remind
Yeah,
them.
he's reminding me of my age, but he doesn't want to remind of his own. Oh.
But you're young, so. But I'm also not fucking. I mean, shoot, sorry. I'm also not a grandpa. But yeah, that's my experience as an immigrant. How about in school? Like, was it any different or
School was
teachers? No.
honestly not really. No. I have a pretty white name, I think. I'd say.
Did they ever ask you to take ESL?
What's ESL?
Oh, I guess no, you haven't.
English as a second language?
Yeah.
No, but I had to do like other things, like IPP. You know what that is?
So,
It's like a program for people who have like ADHD or have like a bit of like a learning disability,
oh, okay.
and like they said I had a learning disability, so I had to. Because when I was very young, I had a very hard time learning, actually understanding English. Like even though like writing and like reading was really hard for me when I first like got to school. So I had to do like extra programs like on the side to learn like basic English and shit. You know what I mean? Like how to speak and how to comprehend reading words. You know what I mean? Even though like I was speaking English at home with my family, I still didn't like. I still couldn't read and write. You know what I mean? Until I was like maybe like 5 or 6. That's when I kind of clicked in. And then when I got into junior, like before I got into junior high, like when I was in like grades like 5, 6, 7, like those is when that's when they really tried to like push me into like being able to read a lot, and that's kind of how they really had to prepare me for high school because I wouldn't have been able to survive if they didn't like teach me all the English they did because I had a really rough time reading. You know what I mean?
No, and honestly, I feel like that's probably the best thing someone could ever done for you because I wasn't a lucky person when it comes to that kind of stuff in school. Because first of all, when I came here, I did not speak any English. I did not know how to communicate.
Yeah, I had so many friends like that.
Yeah, and I remember my dad telling me that as a child going to school here, I would get frustrated. I would cry because I wasn't learning anything. I would go to class, and then the teachers would just give me the sheets. Hey, do the test here, and what am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? And yes, I took ESL, but I feel like ESL doesn't really help you. It doesn't really prepare you for.
What is ESL?
Action.
I know what it is. I guess English as a second language. I know that's what it stands for. Because I remember there was this one girl that I really liked in school. That she was from Colombia, and I remember the first when she was at school. I was like, everybody was trying to talk to her because like we never like in my school nobody had ever seen like another person that was ESL or like they came from another country and didn't speak English. And like the craziest part was they just threw her right into class with us. Like she didn't like they I don't even know how to explain it. Like she went from I feel like she just got to Canada, went to school the next day, had no idea any kind of English, and they were just teaching her like science. They tried to start teaching her science, math, like right off the bat in English. So she's trying to figure out all this stuff. And at the time, I thought it was like, oh, she'll figure it out, right?
Yeah.
And then now I look back and I'm like, how hard that must have been for her, like, because like she's fluent in English now, right?
Well, I'm more fluent now.
No,
But
like
because,
okay, go ahead.
because like I actually did practice my English.
Well-
I tried to learn it. I would read the newspaper. I would watch TV. I would do
Yeah.
all these things because I also didn't want to have an accent. Not that I don't like it. I wanted to perfect it. That's it. Sometimes I'm a perfectionist in certain things.
Yeah, that's why I tried to teach her as much English as I could, and then there was another girl in our class, and she spoke Spanish, so she would be she was this interpreter for the first 2 years of her school, because I went to school with her for all of junior high and high school, and the first 2 years of junior high when she first got to Canada, she was her interpreter. It's you wouldn't see them two not together. They were always together, because she's the only. Well, it's because there's nobody else she could converse with and speak Spanish to, so I was she'd just be alone if she didn't have her. So I now that I look back, I was that's really nice of her to take her kind of under her wing,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and basically teach her English.
I feel like they should actually have actual classes, like English classes, because ESL, what they do is that they have all these people, different ages. It doesn't matter how old you were. You know what I mean? They wouldn't spend time with you with certain things. It would
Yeah.
just be random stuff. Like we would go out and do things, but there wasn't that much talking, you know what I mean? So you can retain that information. So I feel like ESL doesn't really help you much.
So
And before I forget, they were trying. So my child, he was born here in Canada, and they were trying to put him into ESL just because I was an immigrant. Honestly, I know it's probably not the case, but I felt offended. Only because, it's just because
Wow.
he's an immigrant, that doesn't mean he has to speak English.
Let agree with you.
So then I went to talk to them. I'm like, so why are you gonna put my child into ESL that's just gonna get him a bit behind, when he could be taking other classes? Because he speaks English perfectly, he understands it, speaks it. He was born here and he grew up here and he speaks English. So why does he need to go to ESL just because of me? I don't feel like that's correct.
It's great.
What are you gonna say?
Well, I'm trying to think about what you just said, because it's really hard to comprehend that they would make someone who's born in Canada try to make them take ESL doesn't really make sense to me, because
No, he was born here.
that's what I mean.
I'm gonna say he wasn't born here.
No, that's what it kind of blows my mind that they would make him do that when he.
They didn't, because I said, it's pointless. Why? You know what I mean? He doesn't even have a Latino accent. He doesn't. Well, sometimes he picks it up because he's around me or around my friends. Or
I've never heard him have a Latino accent, so.
Oh, I've heard it. I laughed the first time I heard it. It's funny because it is. He even made fun of himself when he did it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
What were you gonna say earlier? Did I make you forget?
Yeah, about my classmate. Well, I was just talking about how it must have been a struggle for her. I didn't really have any child discrimination really when I was younger in school, because like I said, everybody was all the kids in my junior high were born in Canada. Like there wasn't a lot of immigrants when I was going to school very relatively young.
Yeah.
So it's only till I got to high school when I met tons of people that were not from Canada, right? Which is most of my friends are not even from Canada now, so I I don't know, it's crazy to think that when I was younger I didn't really know anybody. I knew all the people that were from Canada, and now I basically don't really know much people from Canada anymore. They're mostly from other countries, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But see, and for me, sorry, that type of stuff made me want to leave school and just start working. I didn't finish my high school because I was frustrated. I did not learn anything. Everything wasn't English, and basically I was just left on the side. Here's this test. Here's the homework, and that's it. And the worst part is that they don't move you up of how much you know or if you pass the final test. Here, they move you up depending on your age. Which is that if you're failing, they're still gonna move you up anyways.
Yeah, if you
know
fail,
what I mean?
if you fail 1 year, they're still gonna put you to the next year. And then they're just gonna. I guess when you were in school it was different, because nowadays if you're failing, the school will shoot tons of resources at you. They'll give you as much support as you can. That's what they did for me to make sure I passed. So Like nowadays, they give you as much support as they can. I feel like.
You know, and I hope ESL is it's better. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong.
It probably is. I feel like it's probably evolved a lot since when you did it. You know what I mean? I don't think it's. Well, yours seems pretty harsh. I don't think it's as harsh as it was before. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I love my ESL teachers like Mrs. Jeans, Mrs. Hash, Mrs. Cozina. I love Mrs. Cozina.
Shout outs.
Shout outs to all my ex-teachers. But yes, you know, I mean, like, they have the best intentions, but I feel like the way it goes, I feel like they need to focus more on, like, writing and speaking and exercises, you know what I mean? But having random, I guess, ages and stuff like that, I don't think it works. Whatever, that's just my opinion.
I don't think having a group of people that are like 4 years old, 8 years old, 12 years old, and 16 years old, all in the same room trying to learn, it doesn't make sense because like everyone learns at like a different pace. When you're really young, you have to it takes a lot more for you to retain the information that you're learning, right?
Yeah.
Once you're like 16, 17, the information that they just throw it at you because your mind's capable to comprehend what's going on, right?
Yeah.
When you're very young, you cannot comprehend that kind of stuff. That's why it's like you don't really see a lot of like brilliant little kids. There's some kid you see online, right? They're like, wow, this kid is fucking really smart. You know what I mean? But then there's the average people like you and I. They're like kind of struggle with school a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
And I give props to the people that come here and go through the same thing that I went, and they actually went the extra mile.
And
you know, and knew how to look for help. You know what I mean? Because not everybody have the same mental capacity. We're all different people. So I guess I just got frustrated and just left the school. You know what I mean? I just started working, and I'm like, you know, I'm already making money, whatever, and I can't go back anymore because I feel like I'm not ready for it. I know I could, but I'm not ready for it. I'm just gonna waste my time.
Why? Well, what do you need it for anyways? What do you need your GED for?
Well, now I'm a cook. You know what I mean? I don't know what I can do.
You've been a cook for like a while, so.
No. But I'm trying to get out of the kitchen. The kitchen's a very underrated job. It's very low paid. It's very stressful. Well, I'm gonna speak my mind. It's very underrated. They don't pay well. You know what I mean? I'm talking about in general. In general.
My experience with kitchens it hasn't been too bad so far. Like obviously, I worked with you for a while, and you know, like that I moved up pretty quickly working with you, and then had things happen, and I moved to my new job, my new restaurant, and I've already moved up there pretty fast. And I'd say it is stressful. It's underpaid if you're not willing to like conform to what they want. You know what I mean? Like and move up and like really try to take on more stress than it already is, because like every position and every job is stressful. Can't lie. I mean, every job, well, not every job, but I'd say that 80% of the jobs out there are stressful. You know what I mean? And people are stressed out.
Okay, so
you can't.
Okay, so I'm not gonna specify where, but do you think like the guy, the boss up there, do you think he's stressing? And
that's why I said 80%. There's only 20% of people that are the top bosses up there. There's not everybody can be a top boss up there. You know,
but that's what I mean.
And he probably is stressing because he probably has quotas to make. He probably has targets he has to hit. And if those restaurants aren't hitting it, he probably has to make sure he's sending those emails to those people. And you know what I mean? I believe it because
in the system that I've been working with, they believe that watching your boss sitting down in a desk doing nothing, it's attractive. That's what I was told. That's the reason why that you see some people just sitting down and doing nothing. It's because they want to make it look appealing to you, so you want to move up. That's what I've seen. That's what I've been told, and that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's very physically demanding.
Yeah, well, kitchening, working as a cook is very demanding. Well, you don't really. If you're working in fine dining, it's way more demanding.
Well, that's why I'm trying to get out of the kitchen. Don't get me wrong, the kitchen chose me, I didn't choose the kitchen.
That's what everyone says.
It's because, like, you don't see me, oh, let's go cook, oh, let's go do this. I don't really like to cook. I only cook because I have to.
But we're going to be doing some cooking videos.
But we'll be doing cooking videos because, like, I already know how to cook. Might as well just take advantage of it, right? And make some content for you.
And I'm in school for cooking, so I could also show him some things about cooking too. even though he likes to call me a know-it-all, but.
But anyways, I think we're at goodbye time. It's time for us to go. Yes, as you can tell, we're a little bit nervous. That's because it's our first show, but we'll eventually get the hang of it. You know what I mean? It'll be easier.
Yeah, we'll be pushing out. We'll be pushing out one 30-minute stream every.
Whenever.
Yeah, every Sunday. We'll try to put every Sunday out. If not, we'll have a video or photo posted on the profile.
So expect more stuff coming your way. Thanks for being here and take care. We'll see you next weekend.